basically coming from the industry, and the difference or the USP of this particular Kaizen education is it is very industry relevant. It's very industry relevant, and so I come from a industry where I'm working into the connected car and the connected infrastructure and the industry 4.0 program. I've got around 22 plus years of experience into product management. So when I started, it was basically uh, using computers, and now today we talk of gadgets. And today, if you look up any global cellular provider market share, they have more objects using sims rather than people. Okay, so according to market forecast, 50 billion objects will be connected to the internet. That is actually exceeding the human population by a few counts. Okay, so more and more people will start, the number of people in the internet will reduce, and more objects will start interacting with each other over the internet. So that's the basic objective. Now, going to the next slide, Kaizen education is not just a training institute. Okay, so it brings forth in a very summarized way if industry patterns which are evolving. That includes, like, artificial intelligence, which we'll today start about only as a webinar or a introduction. Then they have a full-fledged data science module, IoT and telematics module, then the usual scrum and IT software and testing, and on the soft skills, leadership, product management, digital marketing, finance. So any of our participants who want to have who want to be at the top of the learning curve in this industry, uh, can contact the below given numbers. There is also a email ID where you can yeah. So starting with the artificial intelligence thing, number one, why do we need artificial intelligence? Is today's market not having, or the students which are coming out of uh, engineering colleges or software colleges are not having intelligence? That is not the point. Point is, artificial intelligence is something which our regular computers and mainframes cannot do. What is that our computers cannot do? Because today we boast of computers beating chess players, computers managing the entire probably the a rocket launch by NASA is entirely computer driven. So why are we saying that we want to go that extra leap and get artificial intelligence embedded into those computers? So I will start with the what and the wherefores. What is artificial intelligence? Is it programs that behave externally like humans, programs that operate internally as humans, computational systems that behave intelligently, or display rational behavior? So, two of my questions are having this two words called programs and humans. So, if I just pause for a while and just look at the uh, chat window, what is that everybody feels? What should a artificial intelligence? I completely believe you all are industry experts. You all come with a different kind of definition of artificial intelligence. Feel free to just put a few. I'll see only the first 5 or 6 messages just to get the tune of what the entire population feedback is. Can you please summarize in your group chat? Okay. So I think option two. Okay, great. Option two, to give any device intelligence to think. Very good, Bismay. Very good. Parag, option two is also uh, a very relevant answer, I would say. Just 10 more seconds if I get any option, otherwise I'll get going. I value your time as well. AI learns from numerous combinations of mistakes. Arnab, very good answer. Very good answer. Option three, computational systems that behave intelligently. Sai Bhushan, very good. Okay, so I will not say any of these answers are wrong. Okay, Ravindra, thank you. Hamed, thank you. Okay, so I would not say anybody of you are wrong, but actual artificial intelligence is something very close, but yet very different. That I'll take to the next slide. Please bear in mind that I've used two very important words, and I've kept this the slides have been made very carefully. Okay, so it's just not dumping obscure stuff into just for the just for making the slides bigger. So artificial intelligence is basically, as many of you have rightly said, is a outcome of intelligence derived from many streams of knowledge. Why I'm saying that? I've mentioned I am more intelligent than you. Just being the speaker today doesn't actually make me more intelligent than you. This entire population, if I just take a survey, people could be expert in maths, which I know a few people are in this particular group. Few are economics, few could be neuroscience, few could be psychology students, few could be control theory experts, and at the same time, in parallel, could also be learning philosophy. Is it possible? Is it possible for any one person to know more than four of these bullet points, what I've just mentioned? Just a casual dipsec survey. Is it possible? Would you believe that a person could be expert in philosophy, mathematics, as well as neuroscience, as well as adept in psychology? Psychology is understanding human behavior, understanding control theory, and understanding economics as well. Why? Very rare. Yes, yes, Sanjay, very rare. Computer capable of predicting. AI means predicting human through process. Everybody missing the bullseye, but somewhere on the board. Okay, let me explain. Neural networks. Neural networks is basically a stream of mathematics which understands how the human brain functions, processes information, and would like to see information in the way so that it is easily absorbed. I will repeat. Neural networks is basically a stream of mathematics which understands how the human brain functions. Number one, how the human brain functions. Second, how the human brain would like the information to seep in so that the person understands and likes to view the data. Am I clear? Okay, I'll make myself more clear as I go. John McCarthy, he was a who was one of the initial founders who wrote the first uh, operating system for a computer. He had coined this term in 1950s. Okay, 1950s. I repeat, 1950s. And artificial intelligence, although the market is flooded with AI and AI-centric jobs, it was first coined in 1950, and the work was continuously done by experts as well as richly funded by universities. But considering everybody in this particular group are in the 30 to 40, 45 age group, did we ever hear this term from our parents? Did we ever hear this term from our school teachers? Did we ever hear this term from our college professors? barring one or two. Okay, can you just please express yourself on the chat window? It is there for a purpose, so that I get feedback. No, no. Why not? Not even in US. My boss still doesn't know what AI is, although we are in the same project, and he's from the UK. Okay, Arnab, Sanjay, just two of them, very active members. Yeah, exactly. So none of our educational systems have ever told us about artificial intelligence. Great. Radio was probably told to us by everybody that when you grow up, you'll be able to hold a telephone and see the other person live. Has anybody heard stories about that when we were young? That you can see the person with whom you're talking to? Today it is a reality. Artificial intelligence was coined much before that, at least 4 decades before the first mythological. Okay. And actually, mythological, what you have said is a very, very, very important term. If you look deep, all these things were already mentioned in our Vedas. Okay. Okay. So I'll just move on. Why am I more intelligent than you? And when I say I, it doesn't mean me as a person. What I'm saying is, for a artificial intelligence person to have, for a artificial intelligence to this particular industry, what it brings is a complete knowledge of philosophy, mathematics, economics, neuroscience, psychology, and control theory. And this is not all. There are 120 others. Okay. Next, the answer is artificial intelligence is basically systems that think like humans, that act like humans, that think rationally and act rationally. Today, in an Excel sheet, if in Excel sheet there are negative values, right? So I can subtract my total costs from my total income, and the end result could be cash positive, could be cash negative. But what if I ask this question that which of my customers have actually contributed to the profit willingly and seemingly bought a product, and they were completely okay that since it's a brand new product into the market, they are willing to pay the price of, say, some faults or bugs creeping in. Can I do that today? No. A CRM can only tell me how many products have failed and how many have been replaced in warranty, or warranty declined, or how many customers didn't even bother to call back and say that the product didn't work. In Google Analytics, you can see how many apps, or for that one particular app, how many downloads were there, in which device the download was there, and how many people downloaded it, didn't use it, and cancelled or deinstalled it. You can see that. But actually, can you say that how many people did download it and they were actually happy using it? Just out of the uh, box, and I'm very sure I'll get few answers on the chat window. Suppose today I want to bring into the market a shoe. Okay, a shoe. Yeah, review ratings. Good. A shoe which is targeted towards, say, women who are in the age group of 20 to 35, who are physically very active, are usually soccer moms. Like, they assess the student in the school as well as take them to the ground, and it doesn't sweat. Okay, number one, it doesn't sweat, it's very light, it's it's not affordable. It costs 10,000 rupees, but it ensures that there is no skin bite, there is no skin allergy, and there is no whatsoever what you don't want in a shoe. Nothing is there in this particular shoe, but the cost is 10,000 rupees. Do you think I have a market for it in India today? Yes, the answer is yes. India has a market for everything. India has a market for Lamborghini. India has a market for bullock carts. Now, today, if I have to advertise this particular product, just go back 5 years. I would have launched a campaign. I would have sent emailers out. I would have, like, it is like get a machine gun and spray the entire whatever you see with bullets and hoping that, few of the bullets will actually hit your target audience. Agree with me, or am I deviating? Some feedback is requested, please. Okay. So today I have this wonderful tool or wonderful tools based of based out of WhatsApp, based out of Facebook, based out of LinkedIn. Why did Facebook have the intention of taking over WhatsApp for a phenomenal sum? And WhatsApp is totally free because they have the customer data, and that customer data plus the location data plus the photographs what you put are tagged with the geolocation, so they actually know where my customers are. Understood? So this intelligence at the back end is just a manifestation or a very small manifestation of artificial intelligence. That is not complete artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence based computer simulation, which will tell you where your target audience is. So I repeat before going ahead, I've kept this PPT very simple, but every slide can be talked about for hours. Systems that think like humans, systems that act like humans, systems that think rationally, systems that act rationally. So there are two things. One is think and act based on environment. That brings to the next slide. It is, I think one of them already had mentioned this. It's artificial intelligence. The basic is it is an agent, anything. It could be a sensor, it could be a data, it could be a computer, it could be your uh, echo dot, it could be anything that can gather information about its environment and take action based on that information. So based on that information, that means there is no bias. There is no Facebook or a Mintra or a a sponsored information. Anything that can gather information about its environment and take action based on that information. So all the techies here can clearly understand. Even the non-techies in this group can understand what is that I want to show here. There is a web robots host. It's basically a computer, and there is a database. Then there is a server. So server is somewhere in the cloud in a distributed processing mode where all the queries will go okay and get at the acknowledgement, so that yes, I've understood your query, and then it gives the answer to the query back to the web robots host. So what am I talking about? How many of you have heard a Alexa or a Cortana, or at least know of them? Okay, most of you have heard of yes, Janardhan, Parag, Bismoy. Yeah, Arnab, Arnab, Arnab. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, so I'll just for the sake of everybody, all of the 37 people who are into this group, I'll explain. Echo Dot, Alexa, Cortana are all endpoints which customers or normal people like us use to ask questions, to get some work done. They are virtual private assistants. I've kept them out of this presentation. I could have filled up at least 5 slides on how a Alexa works or a Cortana works. That could have made this PPT much more grander and much more meatier. I'm avoiding that because most of you have already said they know. I want to take this to the next level. Assistant, Google Assistant, yes. What do they do? Just think of this particular diagram here, web robot source. So the database, there is a sensor called Alexa or a Cortana. You just spell out your words. So what could those questions be? Call Amitabh Bachchan. If I have Amitabh Bachchan's number stored in my, or rather any person's name I name as Amitabh Bachchan, he will take that particular number and dial, okay, and place a call. What if I say What if I say, and I want feedback here. Please make it interactive, guys. What if I, oh, yeah, okay, Google, call mom. Yeah. It will call mom only if you have, yeah, what is the temperature today? It will call mom only if your mom's number is stored as mom. If your mom's number is not stored in your phone, it will go to the internet to search mom. And mom could have several annotations in the Google or whatever search directory that particular company's product has. Alexa is not using Google. Google will use Google. Cortana will use something else. Okay, what is the temperature today? Very easy answer. Just go to traffic.com or a weather.com or a Yahoo weather. The information is more or less there in the cloud. Okay. What if, guys, yeah, geolocation. What if I ask, please play the hittest song of 2018? What do you think it will respond? Will it play Kishore Kumar? Will it play Arijit Singh? Will it play Brian Ryan? Will it play? It will search in Google. Cortana will not search in Google. Alexa will not search in Google. Amazon and Google are at wars. Why will Amazon want to give its traffic to Google? Which web? It will display a list of links on Google. I'm on Alexa. I don't have a corresponding web portal now. It will play based on its music app. It will play based on its music app reviews, ratings, also your history, probably. Right. So now you understand artificial intelligence is not that intelligent at all. We have to make it intelligent. Okay. Next. Next. The next slide. These two guys are agents which do the work. Okay. You will be amazed at I've actually very carefully put the current users in on this particular slide. Let's ponder over each of these points. Okay. Autonomous planning and scheduling. Somewhere in the space, there is a program running attached to a telescope where it is completely monitoring the operation of the spacecraft as the plans were executed, detecting, diagnosing, recovering from problems as they have occurred. Before the launch, before any spacecraft's launch, the next 25 years trajectory, the number of asteroids it might miss, it might crash, all those are already fed into the computer in advance. Okay. Still, if something goes wrong, how do you recover from that particular frame? Please understand that it is not separated by you and me. Even a cellular communication in a spacecraft will take 6 to 7 minutes for communication, right? So the action has to be taken there and then, not requiring human intervention. Okay? Okay. Autonomous planning and scheduling. Number two, game playing. IBM's Deep Blue bet world champion chess player Gary Kasparov. Any person can lose to a computer. Okay. But what is that Gary Kasparov experienced after he lost? That it was a new kind of intelligence across the board from him. Okay. Third, autonomous control. Again, the Alvin computer vision system was trained to steer a car, and it actually drove a minivan across the entire sub-Sahara, 2,850 miles, 98% of the time. Humans took over only 2%, mainly on and off ramps. The DARPA Grand Challenge, driving a car through the desert, two cars completed the off-road course in about 7 hours. Does it surprise you? Does it surprise you guys? The yeses are, I think, from another question. Okay. Diagnosis. Medical diagnosis program based on probabilistic analysis have been able to perform at the level of an expert physician in several areas of medicine. Today, blood cancer cells, if you go by the traditional doctor's prescription of test and retest, it takes around 8 to 9 tests to confirmly say whether the cells are having a cancerous disposition or not. Okay, but one particular program created by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology completely diagnosed successfully 38 out of 50 samples of cancerous patients within 2 hours. Now, do you think this is intelligent? 38 out of 50 is not a very big score. Okay. There are still 12 people who had cancer and not got detected. But 38 out of 50 got detected correctly within a matter of 2 hours. That is important. This particular slide and the next slide are slightly different. This slide I'm mentioning autonomous planning, autonomous control, diagnostics, and something called game playing. Okay. Now, just think, engineers are responsible for detecting cancers. This is something surprising, right? Computer experts are responsible for driving or ensuring traffic and you know uh, traffic adherence across the country in countries like Denmark. Okay, I'll speak about that later. Okay, logistics planning. As old as 1991, it was already used in Gulf War that involved up to 50,000 vehicles, cargo, and people at a time and had to account for starting points, destinations, routes, and conflict resolution amongst all parameters in the war conflicted areas. The AI planning techniques allowed a plan to be generated in hours that would have taken weeks with older methods. The Defense Advanced Research Project Agency stated that this single application paid back 30 years of investment in AI. What did I tell you? 1950, 1990, there was continuous funding on artificial intelligence. But we are talking about this particular thing in today's webinar, or probably it was discussed by the IITs and the Roorkees, say 10 years back. Why didn't our elders, why didn't our teachers, why didn't our college professors talk to us about AI if it was that important humanity? Any guesses? You can keep the chat window busy. Robotics. Surgeons can now use robot assistant in microsurgery, and that is happening as close to, like, it's happening in Ames. It's happening in few hospitals in Gurgaon, where kidney stones are being removed using robots. But they are still not covered under the insurance if that is a robotic surgery. So one is the technology advancing by leaps and bounds, and second, our traditional methods are not keeping pace. So one of my colleagues' moms had got kidney stones or the gallbladder stone removed, and a robotic surgery took place, and she was in and out of the hospital on the same day. On the same day, I repeat. Okay, traditional surgery would have taken more time, more money, and unnecessary, invasive procedures would have, the patient would have at least been bedridden for at least a week. Okay, language understanding and problem solving. Now, if you go back to the to the example I just stated, Cortana, Alexa. First, it has to understand the language, and to understand your language, it will have to do some learning. Okay, then first it will understand your language, and this is not Google search. where 10,000 results can be popped up and shown in pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, with the sponsored ones coming on the top of your page 1. Will you really appreciate your Alexa or Echo Dot or a Cortana if they start doing that? Probably no. Language understand is it creates a string, goes back to its search web. Okay, it may not be Google all the time, and then uses its intelligence to choose the best probable answer. Choosing the best probable answer will determine whether that particular intelligence is being actually will sustain the market pressure or not. Okay. Okay, so let me go next slide. But before that, I just want to ask everybody, give it a thought. This particular slide, probably we should spend the maximum time today. It is what you see. I will time this particular question. I don't want to go overboard with this particular slide. Just 30 seconds for the people to answer what is that you see on this particular picture. Arnab, innovative. Sai Bhushan, thank you. Cat, timepiece. Cat, watch flowers photo frame. Furious cat, wonderful, Prashant. Cat, two photo frames, flower vase. Okay. Cat sitting on table with flower vase and clock and paintings in background and photos. Whose photos? Great. Okay. Cat, flower, Karan, Bismoy, Vinay, Sanjay. All thank you. Thank you. Now, the second part of the question. What do you think a computer camera, if asked the same question, a camera asks the same question, will say? What is that you see in this particular frame? What will a artificial intelligence question, if posed, what is there in the picture? What will be the best answers? Sanjay, good. Karan, I'm expecting an answer from you. Guess it will record the time and pixels of the pictures. If the camera is trained, then it will respond. What? Ravindra, my question to you is what? AI would see a set of objects. Yes. What objects? Range of pixels? No. Prashant, it's a definite no. Cat and flowers. Okay. Just 5 more seconds. The countdown. How many are sure it's a live cat and not a puppet? How many are sure that the flowers are actual flowers or a fake flower? Cat's expression? Flowers are fake? Yes. How do you know it is a cat? Who has told you that it's a cat? Using previous knowledge I have. Exactly. So this was not a slide just to provoke thoughts. Of course, the main intention of adding this particular graph, this particular picture here was to trouble your mind as to what could a computer answer. The computer answered null. Okay. If you see, each and every point is obscured. Okay. The photo frame doesn't have any photos. If it had a Amitabh Bachchan in there, the camera would have said it is Amitabh Bachchan, because it is not focusing on the cat. It is complete. It is focusing on the complete frame. Cat is naturally using cat images. Okay, the cat's right lobe of its entire head is obscured by the flowers in the background. So the computer has no way of knowing whether it's a continuation or a extended image. Okay, the clocks do not have the dials. Is it visible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I couldn't find it. It will not even say the photo frame. It will not even. It said null. It went into a loop. Okay, but this learning, if the artificial intelligence programmer goes back and teaches that computer that you could encounter such images, and that time you just go back to your database and try to segregate the images and then come up with an answer which is in the center of the photo frame, you should give only that answer and not which is there in the corner of the frame. Do you think the computer will perform better next time? Yes, that is the point I wanted to make. So, in artificial intelligence, the intelligence is actually given to the machine by humans. And second, using a program called machine learning, these are big topics. People jump into these courses without actually knowing what it is. There is something called deep learning, there is something called machine learning. What I do with AI. Why am I a industry expert, considered an industry expert in AI? What I do is I'm in the industry where there is a lot of infrastructure and construction equipment work to be done. Okay, suppose I have to dig a trench. Okay, I have to just dig a trench. So earlier it used to be laborers digging with their tools. Suppose I'm digging a trench on the Taj Mahal, and I've been strictly given an instruction that this is just to carry a wastewater from point A to point B, and you cannot hit or create a crack onto that marble. I'm just exaggerating, by the way, just to make the point. From point A to point B, you cannot dig deeper than zero point 0.7 centimeters, and the width should be exactly 1.3 centimeters or 130 mm. 131, and I'm penalized. I'll be thrown into jail. What do I do then? What do I do then? Karan, we will summarize, okay? We were still in that image mode, and I was telling about how I use it in my industry, and that is very relevant in India, okay? I dig trenches. I do all the dirty or mud and slug or smuck work is there in the field. But if I'm told that I have to dig a trench which is zero point 0.3 mm or 7.3 mm deep, and I can tell my machine to exactly do that. Even if the operator is trying to dig deeper, the machine will not respond. Okay. One of the projects I did when I was connected with the connected car by Ford project, this was in Yugoslavia. We gave all the taxi drivers a small device which they had to fit in the rear wheels of a shock absorber. Okay. Using machines with set limit? No, that is not the answer. That is not the answer. Such machines also do exist. CNC machines do exist, but my answer was slightly different. I'll tell you why. Okay, so what we did is we just put few sensors. I'm not allowed to take the actual name of that particular, we'll call it a data logger. Okay, it used to get fitted in the shock absorbers of all the cabs running in Yugoslavia. Okay, and it was completely free of cost, and we paid the driver a extra 20 rickels per month just to make sure that it is not detached. Okay, what did it do? These cabs flew or drove the length and breadth of the country, okay, day in, day out. Every road's condition, potholes, abrupt slopes, and curvatures, everything got recorded in those data loggers. And that data logger pushed that data into a central repository where the National Transport Minister or his team, they had a complete bare thread detail of the condition of any road in the country, and which needed work, which needed deviation, or which had the maximum potholes. So do you think this was an intelligent move? Yes. This is just one of the cases, and this is, are you talking of India? I'll talk of a few things in India as well. You want me to? Okay. Okay. I was working for a company which used to be in the mobile space. Mobile app can serve the same, I hope. Mobile app can serve the same only if all mobile apps are running on a particular specification of mobiles. Not everybody has an iPhone, or not everybody has I've got a Honor Plus. Please understand, in a country like India, 70% of the market are still not smartphones. Okay. So you need to have an accelerometer, you need to have a data into that particular phone. So it is possible, but not practically possible in a country like India. Okay, great. Okay, by the way, using the common phones data, Nokia had published traffic, which Google did with Google phones. Why did Google enter the mobile space? That's a topic for another day's discussion. Google was nowhere in competition with Apple. Apple is to make computers, Google is to make search engines. Why are these two companies at warheads today? We will leave that for another evening, another Sunday evening. Okay. Okay. So the point I'm trying to take data. Okay. I'm trying to make is, this was one of the projects. Another project in India. Okay. In India, you can see when you drive through any big uh, the Bombay Pune Expressway, or the Gurgaon Faridabad Expressway, or the Taj Express, you see a lot of hoardings, right? You see a lot of hoardings. All majority of the housing complexes offering you luxurious 3 BHKs with swimming pool and whatnot. And yeah, so these people actually spent lot of money in, one, advertising, and second, actually real estate. Okay. See, they know where to put their hoardings so that uh, uh, the maximum people who can afford these houses can see these ads. Do you think if a 4 crore plus apartment in Gurgaon, the right place to put this hoarding will be the Nizamuddin railway station? Probably not. Probably not. Few people are super rich. You can never know. But in all probability, given the class of people who can afford a 4 crore plus home, Nizamuddin station would not be the right place. Okay, probably the right place would be the new KMP highway, or the Gurgaon Faridabad Expressway, or the Taj Express highway, and especially on that road which is leading to Delhi and not away from it. Agree? Okay. What we did was, you have to excuse me, I cannot take the brand name. We put cameras onto bikes. We put small cameras onto Honda CRV vehicles, which got paid, of course, and we used to just drive the highways. Just drive the highways. There was a team of 4 people every 500 kilometers. They used to just take a Audi or a Porsche car and drive the length and breadth of this country. Okay. What is to do is, every hoarding, what is the absolute length in kilometers or in meters, where you can actually see that ad in various weather conditions. Okay. Sometimes the hoarding is so huge and so close to the road that to see it, you actually have to, bend down and see the app. Is the ROI for that particular ad reasonable? Probably not. Okay. So these are learnings which the people are calculating themselves and taking that intelligent decision themselves. Now we will get into the main question which I put up in slide number 3. Why are we talking of artificial intelligence today? Today. Okay. Sanjay, Janardhan, Karan, I need answers from you. Why are we discussing it today? ROI, political answer. See, I want you to understand why we are human tends to make errors for repeatable tasks. That was computer 101. Computer 101, 1970. Correct answer, but 1970s answer. We have the processing power to find information that wasn't possible from data before. Very good answer. Very good answer. But still, this is not the right answer. We have the processing power today. We had the processing power 10 years back as well to take lighter decisions. Processing power is increasing, quadrupling itself every year. Good, but still, we could have done at least a very small artificial intelligence project 10 years back. We did not do it. We did not do it. The people who did it were super billionaires, governments, defense, not for ROI, not for profit. Compute is easily available and data due to uh, co- competitions. We need answer fast. Was it competition? I didn't get it, Amar. Uh, I guess it was we need answers fast. Okay. Data collection or data is new oil. Oh, wonderful. Influenced. Devices are outnumbered human. Okay. Human intervention is not more required. Okay. Okay. I think I'll go with the answer now. Okay. Artificial intelligence was artificial and intelligent, but it was not proved that it can outsmart a human. Okay. Jonathan, I think I got it. I do not need any answers right now. I will repeat myself. We'll spend the next 5 minutes on this particular slide. Ignore the beautiful lady and the handsome man for the moment. I'm saying why artificial intelligence today. The reason is artificial intelligence today has been proven to become more than human intelligence. That is a question mark. That is not a statement. Okay. Thing is, there was a person by the name of Alan Turing who, in the 1940s and 50s, had come up with a algorithm saying that when do we say that artificial machines have more intelligence than the human ones? And we passed the Turing test only in 2014. Okay. In my second slide, in the third actual subject matter slide, I said it bet Gary Kasparov. Gary Kasparov in the previous year had bet 6 machines 3 times in a row. 18, 18 chess games was man versus machine. Gary Kasparov won. It was only in 2013 when Gary Kasparov bet the computer in a 4 match competition 3-1, I guess. Okay. Does that mean that Gary Kasparov got lost? That means machines have got more intelligent than humans? Actually, not. Please do not get this feeling that it is a cyborg or the Arnold movie Terminator going into the future and the machines are overtaking the human race. That is not the case. Okay, humans have not even understood their intelligence in total depth. We cannot judge into we cannot make machines more intelligent than humans. Okay, number one. What is the Turing test? It is very important for every one of you to understand what is Turing test. Some of you may already know, some of you may not know. What I will say is not the entire Turing test. Okay, Turing test will take at least a week to understand, but I will try to be brief and explain the photograph. Okay, the person who is sitting on the top is an interrogator, and the person who is and there are two people on the downside separated by a wall. They could be on other parts of the globe for all that matters. Okay, what is important is this particular, the man on the top doesn't even know who is who. Okay, he does not know who is who. There is a machine and there is a human trying to answer questions to whatever queries the interrogator is asking. The questions are very simple. Okay, is it day or night? What did you do in the party, in the last party you attended? Simple questions like these. Okay, and the answers are given by both the lady as well as the machine. Okay, now if the interrogator does not even come to a decision, or he is not able to know which response is a machine and which response is a human, that means the computer has passed the Turing test. Okay, can I get some feedback on the chat window so that I know if I have to explore on that particular point? Was it clear enough? Okay, okay, good, good, good. Please understand again, there are two things. There are actually two things. The interrogator, if he is told in advance, the ID1 is a person and the ID2 is a computer, and still the responses are same, there will be something called cognitive bias. Okay, why will I ever rate a computer to be more than a human? So that bias thing will always be there. Okay, so here in this particular test, what is the passing marks? What should be the passing marks? If I have to declare, if I have to make a statement as a bold statement that yes, this computer is more intelligent than a human being, what should be the passing percentage? 100 out of 100? Amar, you'll be surprised by the answer. Guys, just 5 more seconds. What should be the passing percentage? 80, 100, 100. Do you think anybody can score 100? And this is not questions and answers. Please understand. It is not like, who was the president of America in 1943. It is like, what do you want to do tomorrow evening? And the responses can be as diverse. What clothes do you want to wear this coming Diwali? What would you want to do when you tell, if at all you go to the moon? Oh, I'm disappointed. 1%. Okay. So Turing test, what it said is 35%, okay, 32%, I think. 32% of the cases, if the interrogator is not able to distinguish, 32% of the cases where where the interrogator is not able to distinguish who is who, it is supposed to have passed the Turing test. Okay, the computer which bet Garry Kasparov scored 34. So now the processing power, the cheapness of the electronics, the computing, more computational power in a small chip are all coming into action today to the general public and the general corporates who are trying to make profit out of it. That's the reason the focus on artificial intelligence has just started. And I will still say that the actual implementation of AI is going to be in the next decade. The 2020 to the 2040s will. So the artificial intelligence is what silicon did to the transistors. Okay, we always had gas tubes to run a radio in 1910. Less than 1% of the entire human population actually saw a radio set. Radio started becoming popular only when the silicon was invented. Agree? Yeah, valves. I studied valves, you know, and then the semiconductor, gas tubes. Okay, coming back to the Turing test. Okay, 32% of the cases, if the interrogator does not know which is the lady, which is a computer, that means the computer has passed the test. Does it mean the humans have lost their intelligence? No, because the lady is not told to cross-examine the machine. Please understand. The competitor lady has been actually told that your response to the interrogator should be sometimes garbled, so the interrogator sometimes confuses you with the machine. Please understand. It is, see, you can answer cat exams and gate exams sometimes by the theory of elimination, right? So if I'm sure that A, suppose it is for the lady, is A is human, then I can always be sure that the B is a machine. The A has been already trained that so that sometimes she can answer in such a way that the interrogator may think of her as a machine, still passing the Turing test with a basic passing of 32% is actually the passing average required for our day-to-day activities to be monitored, to be given over to a computer to handle. Okay. Okay, great. Moving to the next slide, the results. Computer AI passes Turing test in world first. This is I wanted to share with you. 9th June 2014. Every one of you has a Google. Please understand. You can do your, and you can also refer to that particular game, Deep Blue match with Gary Kasparov. You will understand what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. Here, apart from the news clipping on BBC, there is something on the right hand side, which I'll just take 2 more minutes for you to understand what is artificial intelligence about. Okay. Unintelligent human behavior, intelligent behavior humans don't do. Okay. Getting up at 5:30 and going for a jog is very healthy. Is there any person? Is there any person in this particular chat who disagrees with me? I think no. Getting up at 5:30 or during the Brahma Kalam is considered to be not only auspicious, it has fantastic health benefits. Just waking up during that time and uh, taking a bath and taking a walk or thinking of anything important to you, you can go ahead 200% of your next of your competitors. But how many of you do that actually? Do our existing life systems or habits allow us to do that? You don't have to answer me. You don't have to answer me because my answer is equally embarrassing. If if I did not have an office, I will not wake up before 7:30. But if I have a flight to catch, I do not get sleep after 3. Okay? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is there is an intelligent behavior humans don't do. That's the reason we are dependent on machines. Good, Anuj. Good, Sanjay. Amar. Sai. Intelligent behavior humans don't do. So we are dependent on artificial intelligent machines, not because we cannot do something. It is because we do not want to do that thing. Okay. If you refer to that DARPANET during the Gulf War, the entire logistics was taken care by a artificial intelligence program, which would have been done by humans as well. Taj Mahal was built by humans. There was no AutoCAD. There was no computer Excel sheet. There was no inventory planning software, SAP, ERP, nothing. Still, it got built, and it is still holding the test of time. Howrah Bridge was built using pen and paper. Our most of our fathers have gone to offices without having telephones in their pockets, and still the world did still have 24 hours, and it continued to be a peaceful world then. Forts in Maharashtra, yes, I'm basically from Maharashtra, so I know Kalyan Fort. There are numerous forts in uh, uh, Pune where you can see it is still holding good. What is happening to the new bridge? The new bridge, which is next to Howrah Bridge, it has seen three near toppling incidents in the last 20 years. Okay, Sanjay, no points for that. Okay, so there is something called unintelligent human behavior. Then there is something intelligent behavior humans don't do. Why do you think we have to depend on artificial intelligence? It is because of the reds and the blues. Some behavior of humans are not intelligent at all. And there are some intelligent behaviors which humans display, but not displayed by the masses. Okay? Okay. So, Suju, thanks for attending the session for feedback and inquiry. Okay. So, what I'm trying to say is we are dependent on artificial intelligence to do these two things. One is unintelligent human behavior, which is repetitive in nature, and intelligent behavior, which humans don't do. That is the reason we have to create artificial intelligence methods. Now, what are the methods? Okay, so there is something called machine learning, which I do. Okay, which I do. I've got a fleet of around 90,000 machines whose operation data, DTC code, trouble codes, everything comes into a big data setup. I run many machine learning algorithms. And these machine learning algorithms are not created by one company. Okay, please understand. One is the feature extraction. Sales could be interested only in knowing where his machines can sell more. Okay, where to sell more machines, that could be his only objective. Whereas the engineering team would like to know why his designs are not better than the competition. Purchase department could be worried that while buying I'm buying so many equipment from company A, but so in the form it was written that the life of this particular computer is 5 years, whereas I can see a degradation after the second year. The unit is still working, mind you. The unit is still working, but still it is showing degradation, and in high probability in the next 6 months it is going to conk off. Okay, so one is feature extraction for sales, for engineering, for purchase, for design, and then classification and give it to the so my the example I'm saying, this is the input picture of a car. I do the feature extraction and I say whether it is a car or not a car. Actually, it is not a car. It is just a picture of a car. We have drawn such things in our children and saying it's a car. It has got no steering wheel. Why will it be a car? Are you getting me now? This is exactly what the computer will think. Okay. Deep learning. Deep learning is a collaboration between the feature extraction and classification where you probe deeper and there are separate algorithms. So machine learning, the chief programming language is Python. Okay. So in Kaizen, they have several trainers who are Python, who are considered Python experts and who have got tremendous corporate tie-ups where they can, uh, they go and train on Python. So similar with deep learning. Okay, why is DL more useful? Okay, I think I jumped one slide. Why is DL more useful? If you see the interest in machine learning and deep learning has started only now. Okay, but deep learning is much more faster. It learns features and it is very easy to adapt, fast to learn. It is very, very flexible and effective. Main is it is effective. Unless a program is effective, it will not serve your clientele's objective. Because when we talk of corporate, we can talk of ROI, we can talk of all innovations, but please understand, corporates look for ROI and profit. If they feel that this is going to help them, there are only three things what any corporate would want from a artificial intelligence or a deep learning or a machine learning outcome. Okay, one, it saves time. It helps them sell more, or it helps them save more. All can be accurately termed in dollars. Okay, unless you can quantify, no artificial intelligence project ever sees the light of the day. Either it saves time, either it saves money, or it helps them sell more. These are the only three objectives any corporate works with. Agree? Am I audible? Am I offline or what? I am offline. Oh, oh, God. Oh, okay. I can't be because I'm saying yes. Okay. So yes. So why is deep learning more useful? And please understand, deep learning, I use the word neural networks without putting a slide, because I don't want to confuse you guys that you have to learn deep learning, you have to learn machine learning, you have to no. Objective is what is the proposed outcome and what are the sensory data you are required to get, and what is the feature extraction, and what is it, what what was that word, and the classification. These programs, feature extraction in machine learning can be done by Python. In deep learning also it is Python. But the classification, the programs are slightly different. Okay. Okay. Deep learning started outperforming other machine learning techniques first in speech and vision. Does it make deep learning more better than machine learning? Actually not. They have different types of usage. So a Cortana or a Alexa usually uses deep learning because it has to first understand your speech. Please understand this a Echo Dot box is probably made in a China with a American software, and it works equally well in a Tamil speaking household, in a English speaking household, in a UP speaking household, in a Kashmiri speaking household. Okay, so first it has to learn, then it has to also learn to convert the audio into a string which is processable. Okay, these are the word which is used by deep learning and neuro linguistic programming. It's used in speech and vision. Okay, how many of you know that in Delhi airport they have stopped tagging, putting stickers into every baggage? I think everybody of us know that, right? Because there is already a scanner at the end of the camera where every person is already identified. That is the reason. So you cannot fool it. Okay. Now, you can become the best AI programmer in the world. You can become the best learning expert in the world. But still, you will be called a dash. Please fill in the blanks, guys. Sai, you will not be called a data scientist. Okay, but you will be called a scientist. You will not be called a data analyst because you do not know statistics. At the most, you can be called as a data digital transformist or a scientist. Okay, you can be an entrepreneur. Now, the areas of standardization. What do you mean by standardization? Standardization is uh, what should our children learn in school? What should our children learn in school? Is it an example of standardization? Because there is a CBSC, there is a ICSC. Sanjay, any class? So, standardization means, yeah, exactly. Everybody of you is right. Standardization is required because earlier there was no standardization, right? Earlier, when I say during the Vedic times, people used to go to, you know, brahmacharya Parva, where people used to actually go to the hermits, the saints, and stay in that forest and come as a Gurukul Prastha. Yes, that is actually the tradition of knowledge disposition in India. Earlier, it was only from a Guru to Shishya Parampara. You cannot just learn by reading books. You have to hear the mantras and you have to take the knowledge from a guru. Okay, so that is not topic of this discussion. We can have it some other evening. What I mean to say is there should be areas of standardization for AI. Okay, suppose Sanjay Mahajan here learns. Sanjay, you need to pardon me. I'm taking your name, and it could be any person. Sanjay actually learns AI in the next 3 years and comes up with a very innovative program which he can run from his laptop connected to the internet, which will tell him every day morning at 10:30 that how the stock market is going to behave at 11:30, which stocks can at least 80% probability that they are going to go down, 50% probability of those stocks which are going to gain momentum, because all the overseas fundings are actually coming in the night. Okay, and he has a way of not only hacking into the system but using his advanced AI logic to understand which company is going to sell how many stocks. And probably he has, say, Jindal Stainless rose 8% on a single day Friday. Is it going to maintain its upward trend? I do not know. And just taking an analyst's view will not, and the analyst could have 10,000 stocks which he wanted to sell at the 163 levels. It is at 152. Probably he will say go buy, so that when it reaches 163 he will sell it. Okay, yeah, algorithm. Okay, so do you think that we need some area of standardization so that Sanjay is not able to do such a thing? Yes. Yes. Suppose Janardhan or a Arnab creates a program which will track every child's photo on Facebook and see his vulnerability quotient. Is that particular child behaving in such a way so that he can go and sell his drugs? Will it be a safe thing to do? That's the reason we are talking of ethics. We are talking of risk analysis. We are talking of traceability. We are talking of privacy. We need to talk about security, interoperability. Interoperability. Why interoperability? Your ARPA and the DARPANET AI logic should be equally operational for the India military logistics as well. Why should it be any different? There was a time when we took our cars to a service station and we had to tell that engineer that the radiator is leaking. The I'm not able to experience cold air, and there is some friction, I think, on the left hand side rear tire because so so we used to do that, right? Be it a two wheeler, be it a car. I never had a car when I was in uh, school or college, so it used to be a scooter. And I know that unless you tell very succinctly to the garage engineer, he will not rectify the car or the vehicle, right? Today, what happens? Today, your wife or your daughter or your child can just go and dump your car in the service uh, garage, and all they do is plug a computer into your DLA port, OBD port, and they get to know the entire dynamics of the engine, the entire dynamics of the what is wrong with the car. That is because it is standardized. It is still not standardized across manufacturers. So if you take your Ford car into a Maruti dealership, he will not know it. But do you think it is needed? So that we have a car which is interoperable, so that a Ford engineer can also rectify a Maruti car. Today, not everybody is doing that because they are creating islets of their own. And that is the first step to becoming rich. But at a later date, you need to sustain. When a Audi and a uh, Mercedes can get serviced in the same Volkswagen dealership, the Marutis and the Hyundais will also have to follow suit. Otherwise, they will be out of the market. Understood? What if the same spare part of a Maruti was going into a Hyundai as well? Don't you think the part would have been much more cheaper? Yes, because the manufacturer would have been making the same component multiple times over, and the economies of scale and the economies of size uh, could have led to a price drop. Yes, price drop. But then what would have happened? Only one manufacturer or a 10 manufacturers would have been rich, the others would have died down. That's the reason the government is still saying, okay, maintain silos. So a Hyundai could have 3,000 suppliers, a Maruti could have 5,000 suppliers, and all the 5,000 supplier companies are generating 50,000 additional jobs. So that's the reason it is not standardized today. Okay, safety. Any artificial intelligence program, just suppose there is artificial intelligent robot in a airport where it is said smoke free. Okay, you're not allowed to smoke, and sometimes you do. I steal a smoke. Okay, I steal a smoke. I go somewhere in the just outside of the airport and just for 2 minutes, just and in cold Western countries you cannot even make out whether it's a smoke or the fog. Okay, suppose the robot is trained in such a way that it will directly shoot me. Is it okay? Will it be okay? Because I committed a crime. Will it shoot me? No. So the area of standardization, wherever you want to talk about artificial intelligence, please bear in mind that there are ethics, there are risk analysis, there are performance metrics, there are many things have to be considered before launching that particular program. It could be in your desktop, it could be for your company, and in another 5 years, I'm telling you, none of you will be doing the jobs what you're doing today, leaving apart real estate jobs. Even they will change the way they actually work. The jobs after 5 years you have not even heard of today, and they all will be in the digital transformation or active creation or machine learning. We'll be forced to do that. We'll be forced to do that. 2000, the early part of 2000, uh, exactly modern times. Charlie Chaplin having snacks. Yes, having that soup and the machine burning up, and that we laughed, but that is exactly what is happening today. Okay, machines will be machines, and we have to give those intelligence to those machines. I think I have spoken enough for the day. So Kaizen has got a excellent program in place where they have a machine learning expert, where they have a deep learning expert. They have people like Avinash, who has come with around 35 years of experience. We have many people like me who are like in the mid management area where we are like 2022 plus and leading global projects. So we can bring that industry relevance both in India as well as outside. So for any such queries, you are free to, I would encourage you to continue your learning, because we are no longer living in the 1980s where you learn engineering and you're set for life. Any weekend you don't learn, on Monday, consider yourself obsolete. I'm telling you this. This is going to become a practical scenario in coming years to come. Okay, so I'll take a break here. So thank you for your participation, and this is the last slide. What I just want you to note down. For inquiries, these are the numbers. You can email at info as in education.in, and there are full day weekend batches and evening batches on weekends. Plus, there are online courses as well. And the first weekend batch is fast filling up. I think only 7 seats are available right now. Okay, so it was great, guys. It was a very memorable evening. Continue your good work. Start, you know, continue on your learning curve, and we'll meet soon. Very good evening to all of you. Thank you. Thank you.